In medical school, laptops were mandatory. We were told it was hands down the most efficient and effective way for us to take all of our lecture notes. Years later, I am convinced that they could not have been more wrong. Smartphones, tablets, computers are all around us. We want them there. Why wouldn't we? They promise productivity, knowledge, and connection. While they do indeed offer all of that, more often than not they end up distracting us and just sucking us into endless streams of engagement. Often, our only choice for freedom is to just unplug completely. You see, I am a huge gadget nerd. There's no doubt about it. Anyone who knows me knows that that's a fact. It's been that way my entire life. I was fascinated by computers as a young child. I spent countless hours on our original Macintosh and was beyond excited when I finally inherited my father's Palm III. I pushed that little device as hard as I could, trying to get it to do everything for me. But the limits soon became both obvious and frustrating. It turns out the Egyptians may have already figured things out thousands of years ago. I've written 3 novels, and I used a different electronic tool for each novel. There were specific reasons why I tried each one of the things I tried, and in the end, not a single one of them has felt like the absolute answer. But over 20 years ago, I actually started my first novel, and I did so in a trusty 5-star notebook with a mechanical pencil. Writing by hand seems to be seeing a huge resurgence lately, and personally, as I push my electronic tools more and more, I end up seeing the advantages of something as simple, yet flexible and elegant as just writing by hand. True, it's slower, it doesn't sync to the cloud, and by its very nature is a friction-filled experience. But maybe that's where the true benefits lie? Over the last few years, there's been no shortage of research to support the idea that writing by hand just hits differently than typing or dictating. Both Mueller at Princeton and Oppenheimer at UCLA demonstrated that handwriting activates more areas of the brain, and by doing so improves memory, processing, and conceptual understanding. But that's not all. The slowness of handwriting forces us to summarize in real time and process what we're hearing. We end up understanding concepts better. We're able to make connections while we're taking our notes. The greater flexibility inherent to handwritten notes provides also more options in how those are structured. So the truth is, benefits are both clear and abundant. But hey, studies are one thing. Real life is what matters. I had tried for years to move toward a paperless system. I wanted everything electronically stored, synced through the cloud, and available at any time on any device that I had on me. I was convinced that that was the modern ideal. I was wrong. Yes, it was convenient, but the convenience allowed for far too many other negatives. Years ago, on a whim, I purchased a theme system journal from Cortex brand, and I committed to give journaling by hand a solid try. Something inside me changed. I was much slower. I had to be judicious with my words. I'm one of those people who, my handwriting is really illegible if I don't slow down and take my time. And even then, it may only be legible to me. But I had to make sure that I was going slow, and by doing so, I was constrained both by the time it took as well as just the physical space on each page. I found myself thinking about what I was going to write before I actually put the words down. By doing so, I found myself connected to the process in a way that I never was when I was using digital tools. For me, journaling became a daily ritual. It was time for me to sit alone at my desk in a quiet room. There were no distractions. There were no notifications. There was just the sensation of the paper in my hands and my pen gliding across the page. I ended up beginning to treasure those moments of solitude and reflection. My thoughts ended up becoming my friends, and my journal was a place where those could grow. So for me, the difference in the experience was profound. I ended up seeking out other places in my life where handwriting could similarly be beneficial, where somehow it could perhaps enhance my work. Now, handwriting encompasses my weekly planning, my brainstorming that I may do at any time, as well as my book notes, notes that I take while I'm reading. I've developed a habit of writing a daily stream of consciousness that allows me to take all of the random thoughts that are jumbled up in my head and put them on a page in such a way that they crystallize. While my current system has evolved, the roots of that practice of writing in a paper journal by hand every morning has become the bedrock of many of my habits. It's a simple concept, writing by hand. It's something that's been done for millennia, yet it continues to stand the test of time. If you haven't sat down, pen in hand, page before you, I encourage you to try. You might be surprised at how a little friction can make the small moments of your day feel deeper.